if you clicked on this video has appeared in your life. That means that you are about to shift in the simulation from the information that I'm going to give you, and it's on detachment, detaching from things. Okay, this may be the number one thing where people have the most issues with, including myself. And I had something that happened to me today, and I tried this exercise, and it raised my frequencies right back up to the highest frequency that you could be on. Because if you're in a high frequency, you're in a grateful state of mind, a loving state of mind, an acceptance state of mind, nothing can bother you. There's nothing in the world that could ever sway you or move you or change that frequency once you're in that, if you can maintain that high frequency. But there's always going to be times in your life where something just happens to where it's going to try to get you to react. It's going to try to do this. It's going to try to do that because of our unconscious imaginal acts within our own minds that are creating certain things like this to happen to us. The things that pass through our imagination and feeling states without us knowing that's going to create problems within the simulation, but also changing the perception of these problems. So this is what I did. I'm also changing all the labels and everything. So I'm going through an entire process right now that I'm continually working on, but really getting to the point where I'm mastering it so well. Okay. But I had something happen to me today where I was very kind to someone, very, very kind to someone, gave them a certain amount of money, and they were supposed to get the money back to me. But then they came up with excuses where they're not going to pay me now. So I started to react to it because I was very, very kind to this person. No interest, nothing like that. Just get the money back to me by a certain day or a certain month. And they told me they're not going to give me my money back. So initially, I'm thinking, okay, this is happening for my benefit. There's some reason why this is happening, because I'm leveling up and I have to learn how to navigate around this situation and understand, and be better at what, I made a mistake. Okay. I basically made a mistake and I needed to learn from that. So I get this in my mind and I stop reacting to it, but then my mind keeps going back to it. So I'm like, no, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. There's no way I can let this slide. In my mind, and I'm getting stuck on this thing. Like, I'm starting to react to it, getting negative. My frequencies are getting to the bottom. I'm like, whoa, I'm catching myself. And then instantly, this is how I detached from it. As soon as I found that my mind was being overwhelmed with this thing, was being completely overwhelmed, because this is a substantial amount of money. All right, it's not just, $10,000 or something like this. This is a large amount of money. So as soon as I catch myself, my mind keep going back to this, I jumped down and did 50 burpees. I jump. If you don't know what a burpee is, you can Google burpee and it'll show you what it is. Even on YouTube, you could probably Google that and it'll show you what a burpee is. But I do the burpees where I jump down on the ground and I do a push-up, then I stand right back up. I don't jump. I just stand up and then I go back down and do another one. So I did 50 burpees, and as soon as I came out, I was completely detached because it raised my frequency. It changed my state of consciousness. Because when you start breathing heavy, I'm sweating, I'm feeling great. Like throughout, when I got to about 20, it just totally took me out of my comfort zone and shifted me out of that state of consciousness just by doing that. Because I was in a low frequency, low energy level, low state of consciousness. This person, because I was so kind to this person just totally walked all over me. I was reacting to it, but instead, even though I was trying to tell myself that it was happening for my benefit, and I'm usually really, really good at that, but this time I caught myself going back, and I wanted to share this technique with anyone. And I've already used this with other stuff, but I never use it for something like this that just is similar to this. I usually use it if I'm about to eat something that I shouldn't be eating, like a honey bun or Krispy Kreme donuts, or if I want to eat a tub of ice cream, or I want to order a pizza or something like that. I'll jump down and do 50 burpees. And then once I do the 50 burpees, I no longer want to order a pizza. I no longer want to eat that tub of ice cream. I no longer want to do this because what happens when you do this, it changes the inner world. Because when you're doing the burpees, you're automatically picturing yourself looking better than you currently do, or it's going to do something within your own imagination that's creating you have a healthier picture of yourself of the future, but you're feeling it now as you're doing these burpees. And that's why it changes your frequencies, and when you come out of the burpees, you're in a different state of consciousness to where you're not going to react to those things. You're not going to eat that. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do this. But I just recently found that when something happens to you within the simulation, similar to what happened to me today, this also works. And it's also really good for you, and it's great for discipline. So I want to encourage everybody, detachment. If you're having an issue with detaching from anything in your world right now or anytime, if you have something that has happened to you that you are attached to and you cannot detach from it, do something. Do 100 jumping jacks. I prefer burpees, but if you can't do burpees, do jumping jacks, do squats, do push-ups, do something that raises your heart rate, that gets you breathing very deeply. And you're breathing, everything's opening up. You're releasing the dopamine, you're getting out of your comfort zone. You are moving, everything in your whole body's moving. You're shifting your states of consciousness. You're imagining something, whether you know or not. I'm telling you, when you exercise, you're automatically picturing new things. You're picturing yourself being someone new while you're doing that. And that shifts your states of consciousness, okay? It automatically shifts your state of consciousness. So when you get done, or even during that, you're changed. You're a different person when you come out of it. You're a different person, and you no longer are going to react the way that you did before you did that. So this is A+ recommendation from me to do this exercise, to do this, just try it. So if you find yourself completely in a reactionary process, no matter what is happening, if someone was very was very rude to you, and you gave them money, they didn't want to pay you back, or you got something happen to you in your world that really upsets you and you cannot detach from it, no matter what you're doing, jump down and hit the floor. Jump down and hit the floor and do some squats and do some burpees and do some jumping jacks and get your heart rate up. You're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to shift your states of consciousness. Your frequency levels are going to go to the roof. And you can also repeat affirmations while you're doing that. But even if you don't, you're going to be picturing yourself being someone new in your unconsciously in your imagination. If you're very present, you're going to see that during the process, because we're always out picturing things. We're always picturing things in our imagination. Our inner dialogue starts to change. Our assumptions start to change. Our pictures in our mind, our feeling states are changing. Our frequencies, everything's being raised during this process. So I want to encourage you right now, if you're trying to detach from something and you find that you just cannot break free from that, you're just latched onto it and you cannot sleep, or you cannot take a nap, or you just cannot break your mind free from something, hit the floor and do some burpees. Or if you have to go in front of a large audience, or you're doing something where you have anxiety, or you have fear, or your confidence levels are low, you have a low confidence level, hit the floor. Do 50 burpees, or 100 if you can, or even 150, depending on how far you want to take your states of consciousness. The more you do, just don't kill yourself, or don't hurt yourself, in the process of this. Start, if you've never done burpees before, start low. Just get your heart rate up. This is very healthy for you to do these. And if you cannot do that, find something else that is equivalent to that, or very similar to that, where it can raise your heart rate up, and you'll find, or just go for a sprint, something like that, which will get you in alignment with your true self, your higher self, because that's who you connect with. When you shift your states of consciousness like this, you're going to feel yourself right out of that attachment that you have. So you hear all this stuff about the law of detachment, and it's all great, and I use a lot of other things with it, but this here, there was something that I just couldn't shake, and it shook me, and this pulled me right back, and I was able to completely detach from it, and it's totally eliminated. I'm just going to make more money. Because that happened to me, I'm going to make 5 times more than that now. Say I gave somebody $100,000. Now I'm going to have magically $500,000 just magically come into my life now. And I truly believe that. And I truly believe that this happened for my benefit now. Now I can change. See, after I elevated my states of consciousness from doing the burpees, now I'm able to accept new ideas from a higher state of consciousness. My higher frequency now is like, okay, you know, this happened because I was supposed to learn from this and not make mistakes like this and not do that ever again. And also that there's something bigger in store for me, because once I learn, because say later I would have given somebody $1 million or $500,000 and trust us, but now that's not going to happen. You know, now it's going to be a little bit different now. So I grew from that, and I'm more strategic. I'm smarter now. I have leveled myself up within the simulation because of it, and I should be thanking him for that. I should be thanking this person for that. But I just encourage everyone to try that. If you find you're attached to something, hit the floor, do 50 burpees. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.